Hello, everyone. You know, one of the good things about CJ Wallace LLC and the elements that we talk about in business is that this is not built on a man. It's not built on my personality. I don't build my business on my personality. I don't build my procedures on my personality. They're based off of facts. They're based off of time tested and proven elements that have succeeded for not only many of our clients, but for us as well. Absolutely. Because if it doesn't work on a small scale, and this is just the velocity, the belief that I adhere to, if it doesn't work on a small scale, then it won't work on a larger scale. And so we test things out. We're financial scientists, if you will. We test things out. We test the business credit out. We test real estate investing out. We look through the methods and we see which one is going to work. And which one, not only which one is going to work, because, sometimes a lot of things work once or twice, right? But we test it again and again and again and again. That's why you continually see people that are around us, and even Joseph, Ray, myself, how that they are consistently getting properties. They're consistently being successful in the businesses that they're in. They're consistently doing it because it is about consistency. It really is. We don't really pay attention to the ups and downs, or we definitely pay attention to the trends, however, because that's what we use to measure, right? We use to measure, we use to grow. However, the downs do not discourage us. The downs simply mean, okay, well, what was it that we implemented there that doesn't work, and how can we switch that out with a procedure that does work? Okay, so the bottom line is I want to give you three elements that you're going to need to be successful in business. Please copy these down. Remember this. It's going to be, first of all, about people. Okay, people over profits. Okay, then number two is going to be process. Okay, processes. Absolutely. Then number three is going to be vision. Okay, it's going to be vision. That's what you need. You need a vision for your company. You're going to have to write it out beforehand. Of course, we can help you out with that as well. Help you jot down what it is that your vision is about. There was one fella, very encouraging. His name's Javon. Man, I hope he's watching right now. Javon, if you're on, go ahead and say hello. And man, we want to show you some love. He was talking about he's into balloons. He's got a balloon business, pretty successful. This is what this man wanted. Okay, in his mind, he wants a balloon business. What is it that you want? Don't think it's too foolish. Don't think that you can't do it. Remember, there's no one in the world, okay, that can tell you or have more power over you than you. Okay, don't give them the power to discourage you. What's going on, Frank Young? Hey, yeah, absolutely, man. That's what I want to do. I want to simplify it for the common man. Absolutely. So we want to let you know, all right, how to implement business credit, how to implement velocity banking, and we do it on a simple level, not condescending at all. It's very simple so that you can pick this up and you can actually teach others as well. That's the goal, folks. We need to spread this all around the community, all around the globe, how this thing called money works, how capital works, how business financing is obtained. And first of all, them talking outside, Jenna and Joseph and Ray, man, I just want to give a shout out to Keller Williams. Keller Williams is the premier real estate brokerage company in the world. If you're an agent, you want to get with Keller Williams. Even if you're not an agent and you want to become a real estate agent or a realtor, you need to get with Keller Williams because the people will teach you. Man, the people will teach you. Okay, they will train you. They will take you step by step on how to buy a house, all right, or how to help your buyers out, or how to help your sellers out. They'll take you step by step. We have a lot of training videos and things to get you successful. We take success very, very seriously around Keller Williams, especially Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, which is where I reside. And oh, absolutely, Nova. Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, CreditWiz at investorpro.org. Okay, that's where to go ahead and contact me. Nova, Ursula, no problem. For the valuable content, no problem at all. And you know, we continue to do it. And that's what excites me, is because it's a continual thing. All right. So I just wanted to finish off with the Keller Williams. You know, not only do we have Keller Williams, but we also have an awesome lending establishment here called Movement Mortgage. Absolutely. They're going to be helping people to get inside of homes. And we have an excellent agent here by the name of Jenna Wynn. I mean, if you could see what Movement Mortgage is all about, what the company is all about, and what the people are all about. I've worked with them before. A lot of our agents have worked with them before. My goodness, they're so trustworthy. Okay, and they will tell you everything that you need to know, the lending process. They're going to take you step by step. They're going to make sure that no balls are dropped, all right, within the process of you buying your home. You know, maybe some of you, it's your first home. It's your first home, all right? They're going to absolutely help you to do it. And, of course, I'll help you to pay that mortgage off real fast. But, hey, don't tell them. All right, look. Let's go ahead and answer your questions here. All right. You got some questions? Yeah, absolutely. CreditWiz at investorpro.org. Yes, and we're actually going to give you a phone number here in a little bit as well. If you want to get started right now, you definitely can. CreditWiz at investorpro.org. CreditWiz at investorpro.org. InvestorPro, INVESTORPRO.org. .org. That's the email address. You want to get started, we can go ahead and get you started. Of course, when you start with me, a lot of you already know that it's going to be more than just a business credit builder you're going to get. You're also going to get business coaching as well. All right. Show you how to grow your business. You know, there's nothing like good associations. You got to have those connections there in order to get to the next level. A lot of you, you're saying, man, you know, why am I stuck in this rut? Who are you hanging around? Who are your associations? I'm definitely not saying that you have to drop them. Absolutely. What I am saying is you have to evaluate them. That's what I am saying. Okay, evaluate them, evaluate the situation that you're around, and maybe you have connections, a connection issue. Okay, do you know what a connection issue is? Like when your internet, okay, isn't connecting, right? You can't get on to google.com. You can't get to your website, no matter how hard you try. Listen to me now. No matter how hard you try, because of your connection problem, you're not able to get to those sites, no matter how hard you try, okay? So really you need to get connected, okay, to people who are doing it, people who have done it, and people who will continue to consistently build companies that will consistently build you, okay, and help you in your mindset. How many people out there have ever read the book Business of the 21st Century? Businesses of the 21st Century. Have you ever read that book? What I want to do, you business owners out there, you business operators that are going to be business owners, it's much better to be a business owner, okay? We're going to do a whole video on the necessity of being a business owner, okay? You're a systems creator when you're a business owner, but when you're a business operator, you're a super employee at first, okay? We want to get away from that. We want to build systems, okay? That's what we want to do. We want to have processes and procedures so that when something goes right, we want to continue that. Okay, we want to be consistent with that. And procedures are what's going to do that. Okay, when something goes wrong, we can change a procedure there so that it'll go right and we can have more ups than we do have downs. Okay, now folks, don't get discouraged at yourself, okay, because you do more right then you do wrong. All right. So, and you're doing right now, but paying attention to this YouTube. Absolutely. We're going to show you how to retire in 3 to 7 years instead of 20 to 40. This is just a little bit. Okay. We're going to be laying a foundation here for you. Of course, that does involve business, which is the what? It's the #1 tax strategy in the world. Owning a business. Yes. That's why business owners go through sometimes the heartache, sometimes the pain, because they know that in the future, in the very near future, it's going to be all worth it. All worth it. It's going to be way better than having somebody tell you what to do 20 to 40 years. All right. Look, many of you are married. You already have somebody telling you what to do. Okay. It's all right. It's all about teamwork, isn't it? Teamwork makes the dream work. And we are so glad that you came on today. All right, folks, listen, the time is now. Okay. Ask your questions. Okay, Clark, I specifically want to get to yours. Okay. Nova, I know you have some questions. Ursula, I know you got questions. Tanisha. Okay. Frank, you've got questions too. I know you do. And we are going to start this out. Don't be afraid to ask questions all throughout the video. We will be commenting. Do we have a moderator commenting and everything on the video so that they'll get the questions and everything answered? Maybe. Maybe. Hey, you know what? The element of surprise. Look, folks, this man needs no introduction. He has several businesses and a very successful real estate investor as well. He's going to show you not a little bit, but a lot of bit about business credit. Folks, it's the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, success embodied in a man, Joseph Smith. Joseph, thank you so much.
Do you need to turn the camera? Or you
oh, yeah.
me?
Oh, yeah.
I'm already there?
Oh, yeah. You're already there.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, welcome. Hey, before we get started, I want you to know we're going to be training you on a very powerful topic, which is business credit tonight.
Powerful.
And we've gone over this information before, but we're going to throw in at the end. And I'm excited to talk to you about how this all fits into a greater scheme of education that we package together, that we bring to the masses to try and help you go from where you're at there to doing deals like us. Okay? Our last deal we just did ended last week. We made $20,000 in 35 days doing a fix and flip from auction. Pretty exciting stuff. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, of course, and you have to get educated. You have to know what you're doing. You have to have a team. You got to have the resources to pull it all together. But that's what I'm so excited to train you about. We have a lot of people that use our services to help them build business credit, and we're happy to help everybody. And in fact, there's a number of people on the line here who are a part of the CJ Wallace YouTube channel that are working with us, and we are experiencing phenomenal success. And if you're on the line, go ahead and throw out, results that you're getting. Let people know, because we want people to know that this is real, that there are real people who are actually getting access to real funds. And if they're not on the line, they'll comment later, right? Now, because we go over this information really fast, and there's not a lot of time to interact and answer every single question. So just so you can go over this again, we have the 4 steps to building business credit. 4. There's 4 steps. I mean, we call it 4 steps or 7 steps or 4 rounds. The point is we've succinctly broken down all the information into about a 6-page book, right? And you can download it by texting the word credit to 602-497-2257. Again, that's 602-497-2257. When you text credit to the number up on your screen, what you're going to get is a page where you put in your name, your email address, and your phone number. And then what you get is a link to this guide. And on top of that, we're going to be sending you weekly emails to keep you up to date with all the information that's going on in the world of business credit, business finance, and to help you position yourself for success in the future. So, why should you be listening to this guy? Because I'm number 57, and I really just crushed that guy who was running around the edge on a halfback suite. I'm very blessed. I had an opportunity to play football in high school, and that actually led me to go on to college, and I played for Boise State. It was a great time in my life. I got to play on the Smurf turf. We actually won a championship. I'm very proud of it. Let me tell you, I learned a lot of great things. This is my team in my senior year. There I am right there, number 57. And you learn hard work. You learn teamwork. You learn the principle of cooperation and having each person know what they're supposed to do and trusting each one to get it done. And I've been able to carry that forward into the business world, because I'm telling you, I talk to you a lot about, oh, hey, look at this success we have and that success. But I'm not a realtor. I'm not a contractor, right? I have people in those positions who I trust, and I know that they're doing their job, right? I've got a business partner that handles his side of the business. I handle my side. And so as a team, we get it done, right? And, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end or change for the worse. So in the end, I had a very supportive family. They came out and came to my games. It was wonderful. Here we are. This is when we beat our first ranked opponent. Boise State beat the University of Utah, the Utes. We were their homecoming game. That's how small back when I played, right? This is a long time ago, before Boise State was as big as they were today. We were the team that you scheduled for a homecoming game, right? An easy win. But yeah, we squeaked out a victory in the end against a nationally ranked opponent. They were like ranked number 20 or number 19. So it was the first time Boise State ever did that. It was very exciting. So there I am leading my team, and we're singing our fight song to our 10 fans we had in the stadium. It was awesome, right? But after that, it was time for me to get a job. And so what does a big, huge guy like me do? Well, I just take my skills and my talents of crushing people on the football field, and I go into law enforcement, right? But actually, that's a really depressing job. So I said, hey, why don't I use my education? So I did, and my education's in social work. So I went to work in the Department of Economic Security. Specifically, my job was a CPS case manager. It was my job to show up in a very difficult situation and remove kids from families' homes if they were in danger. Yeah, so as you can see, I went from one depressing job to another. But here's what happened. I'm a man of faith, and I'm trying to do everything right, and it just feels like everything's going wrong. I'm going through 2 foreclosures and a bankruptcy, and I'm like, how do I do this? And I don't know how to make ends meet. Can anybody relate? Has anybody gone through hard times financially and felt like, what am I doing wrong? I'm working, I'm doing the job that I feel that God put me on earth to do, and it's not working. So what do I do? Well, fortunately, I'm praying, and I came across a team of real estate investors who were showing me how to do this. Something we're going to show you tonight is a system that they use to find the resources that they need to find properties and money to do deals, right? To know how to do the deals, right? To have to know how to put it into contract, how to do it, right? And that's some of what we're going to touch on tonight. But within this education that I learned, massive education, tons of financial information on taxes, the information that you're going to learn, that you've probably learned on Velocity Banking on this channel. I've learned here how to improve my own personal credit. And of course, self-directed IRAs, how we funded all of our deals. And then business credit, how we make a sustainable business model that allows us to have unlimited growth potential for the future, right? And that's what I'm excited, because we're going to share with you tonight a lot about business credit, but we're going to be sharing it to you from the standpoint of telling you a parable, right? A parable, a story that has a deeper meaning, right? So this parable takes place in the story of the 2007 Fiesta Bowl, the greatest football game that was ever played, actually. And it's between Boise State and Oklahoma University, and I'm not biased in any way. It just happens to be the greatest football game that was ever played.
Bias.
I would love to say that I was on the team that played, but I wasn't. This is some 7-8 years after I played for them. But here's Boise State. For the first time ever, they're going to play for the national, they're in contention for the national championship. And they're playing against the Oklahoma Sooners, the most winningest football program in all of North America. So this is a pretty big deal. Now, the reason why I say it's a parable is because what you got to do is you got to picture that you are an upstart business. Maybe you're not even in business yet, and you've got an idea, or you just started your business, or you've been in business for a little while, but you're still small, right? This parable is like kind of like the David and Goliath kind of parable, right? You're a small upstart team business. So think about this. When Boise State started out the 2000 season, did they say, you know what, we want to have maybe a 5-5 season and maybe make it to the playoffs, maybe not, right? Did they set off with that kind of goal? Or did Boise State start the season saying, we're going to be champions, right? Of course, every football team has it in mind, we're going to win the championship. In business, you're the same way. Does anybody think, you know what, I think I want to invest a whole bunch of my money into this business, my own credit, my own time and energy, and not lose sleep and put my marriage on the rocks and go through bankruptcy and foreclosure and eventually fail? Right? I mean, nobody sets out to do business that way. We all want to succeed. We want to build $1 million company. We want to see 6 digits in the bank account, right? We want to be able to pass legacy wealth onto our grandkids, right? We want to have that level of success where we don't work because we have to work because there's enough money coming in to take care of everything. We work for the joy of working, right? That's what we're living for, right? So in this scenario here, Boise State's done it. They've made it to the big game. Just like you win it. You pulled the trigger on a dream, or you're about to pull the trigger and you started a business. You're going to live the American dream. You're going to go for it. You're going to grab that brass ring. And so here it is. They're in the championship game, and what happens? Right out of the gate, they score 2 touchdowns. They're leading. They're winning the game, right? Just like your business. Maybe you had this great idea. You made the sale. You got the commission, right? You had that initial success that told you, okay, I could do this, right? But it wasn't sustainable, right? Have you ever made a large sum of money in business and then you're like, wow, I didn't realize that $10,000 goes away so quickly after you pay a whole bunch of bills, right? Or $20,000 can be spent really fast, right? So then you're like, oh, I gotta try and get out there and do another deal. So here's the situation. What happens? Life happens. Life is what happens. So you go down, and then you have your next opportunity, and you fumbled it. You messed it up. Maybe you were a little overconfident. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody dropped the ball, right? And the deal was missed. You got sacked for a loss. You're in debt. Something happened, right? And you find yourself at the end of the game. You're at the end of the game, like Boise State here, and you're down by a full touchdown. You're in debt. And it's the fourth quarter. There's only 18 seconds left on the board. It's 4th down and 18. And for all my people out there who aren't football fans, you're like, what are you talking about? All right. At the end of the game, you've got to score. And we'll just make it simple or oversimplify it. You've got 4 tries, 4 downs, right? To move the ball. Well, here they've reached the end of the game, and they're on their last chance. Mm-hmm. And it's not like they can score right here. They've got to go across the whole field. It's 50 yards until they can score. And they have to score if they have any chance of winning. Now, whose business is facing such dire situations where if we don't find a way to get it together, to close the deal, to make some money right now, this month, next month, by the end of this quarter, we lose. We're out of business. Well, that's Boise State, right? So here we are. We're in the situation. What do? Oh, well, in football, they throw the Hail Mary pass, right? You just pray, oh, please, God, somebody catch the ball. Do you want to trust your business to some Hail Mary pass? We're going to go to the bank, we're going to ask for an SBA loan or a personal loan, or just hope somebody gives us money. And then you fill out the application, you're like, oh, please, 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 please. That's a Hail Mary pass. And the percentage of those is very low that actually works. Because when it comes to the world of lending, something you should know if you don't already know, is when you really need money, there ain't nobody who wants to give you any, right? But if you're doing okay and your business is pretty good, all of a sudden everybody wants to give you money. So here we are. They're desperate. They've got this last chance to score. And what are they going to do? Well, the defense knows that their only chance is to throw a long pass. So they go into what's called a prevent defense, right? So in this parable, your business is Boise State, but what is the Oklahoma Sooners? They're what happens in life. They're the business forces, the market forces. Mm-hmm. They're your competitors in business, right?
That's right.
So have you ever felt like all the forces are aligned against you in some kind of prevent defense? They want to prevent you from succeeding. It's like at every turn, somebody has it in for you. Well, that's Oklahoma here. So what play do you call? What do you do when your back's against the wall in business? Do you just try to see if somebody will lend you money? Call, hey, Mom, can we borrow $350,000? I mean, it doesn't work that way. Where do you go when you really need money, right? So here's what we want you to do. We want you to make the right call. Let's see what call Boise State made.
Let's do it.
All right, take a look at this.
We're going to see what call Boise State made here.
All right, hopefully you can hear this.
To move a change. A last gasp for the Broncos. Bransky's legs might be critical here to save time on throwing the ball. Down the middle. The lateral! To the corner of the end zone! Can you believe that? In the final seconds of 4th down and 18. Montgomery. And it is good. Well, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
All right, folks, did you hear that? It's not the size of the fight in the dog. No, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, right? It's the size of the fight in the dog, right? It doesn't matter if you're a big, successful company like Walmart or Amazon, Microsoft, right? You don't have to be a big dog. It's like, do you have what it takes to play for the win, right? Don't play it safe in business. If your business needs money, which is the lifeblood of most businesses, right? You need operating capital, right? We want to encourage you to go out there and get business credit. Business credit that's not tied to your personal credit, where you can go out there and level the playing field, right? That's the point. We want you to be able to go out there and have success. And so when you looked at that situation, right? You looked at that situation and you're like, how did they know to do it? They went for this, what's called the hook and ladder play. Mm-hmm. They have the right play.
Yes.
Today, what we want to do is we're going to give you a little glimpse into this education that I was talking to you about. It's a massive education, over 400 hours of so many different financial and real estate strategies. This is just one, right? Business credit, right? There's so many different ways to play in the sandbox of investing. So buckle up, Buttercup. We're going to get into this.
Oh, yes.
We're going to do the Entrepreneur's Playbook for building business credit. We're just in a very short period of time going to condense about 8 to 12 hours worth of content that you learn in our education step by step, right, into this little presentation for you. So let's talk about the Entrepreneur's Playbook for Success. First of all, you already know who I am. Joseph Smith, my business partner Ray Fleming, and I, we use business credit as part of a business model. I've shared it on this YouTube channel before for how we bring in self-directed IRA money, right? But who wants to give you self-directed IRA money if you don't know what you're doing with it, right? And at the same time, what am I contributing, right? So they've got self-directed IRA money. What do I have? I've got business credit, All right, that's what I'm bringing to the party. None of my own money, none of my own credit, right? Personal credit, but I'm bringing business credit. So I got some skin in the game. I'm putting my business's reputation at stake, and my investors are coming in with their self-directed IRA money, and we go out and we buy rental properties. It's an amazing system. We've been able to do very well with it. But hey, you're like, wait a minute, what if I want to do fix and flips? I'm not really into that. That's great. This is one of my business partners, Steve Weibel, great guy, former realtor. He's a real estate investor. He used business credit in conjunction with hard money. So you want to flip a property? Well, you can get hard money, huge amounts of money that you can borrow to do real estate for a very short period of time. But it's very expensive, and they do require you to have skin in the game. But does that skin in the game have to be your own money? No, it could be business credit, which is what he did. Now, I could go into his story. It's really amazing how he turned, lemons into lemonade. But the bottom line is he used business credit in conjunction with hard money lenders to go out and purchase 32 properties, flipped half of them, paid off the other 16, and then he grew that over the next, where are we at, 11 years, and now he has amassed hundreds of properties, and guess who now has so much money that he's become a hard money lender? This guy, Stephen Weibel, my business partner. But he couldn't have done it because when he went to put this together, he had no money. This was back in 2008. Nobody had any money, right? And investing in real estate was a suicide mission. But with business credit, excellent business credit, he was able to have the liquidity when nobody else did to take advantage of a financial situation and come out with a win-win-win scenario. A win for the sellers, a win for the banks, a win for himself. It was awesome. Business credit is such, it gives you so much liquidity. It gives you so much wiggle room. And when it comes to real estate investing, whatever your strategy is, whether you like rentals or you like fix and flips, or maybe you like another area of real estate investing, business credit can be used in each of those scenarios. And what if you're somebody who's like, well, I don't even invest in real estate. Well, first of all, I want to challenge that mindset because all of you here are real estate investors. You're either investing in someone else's real estate or your own, right? Better to invest in your own than somebody else's, right? Do you want to build your dream or someone else's? So since we're all real estate investors, like it or not, might as well learn about it so that we can be effective and use it, whether it's a primary source of income for our business or to create a secondary passive income, a retirement, our own pension. I mean, pensions are a thing of the past. Why not create a rental property empire that becomes your retirement? A nest egg that never loses value.
Yes.
Okay, so because do people always rent? Are rents going down or are rents going up? So, all right, so that's my pitch for that. But when you need money, which I assume you're here on this line because you need money, right? So what do you do? Where do you go? Where do you go when you need a large amount of money to, let's say, I don't know, invest in real estate, invest in your business, purchase new product, right? Where do you go? Oh yeah, you go to one of these, the bank. Now, what happens when you go to the bank? Here's 10 entrepreneurs, 10 business owners. They go to the bank. What happens to them? Well, you see this one right here? He doesn't have any cash flow. And this one right here, he doesn't have any collateral. This one right here, he doesn't have any business credit, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. Right? This guy right here, this guy right here, this guy right here. In fact, a lot of these guys, they have character issues, right? And it's not because they're necessarily bad people. They filled out their application wrong. One little mistake. And the bank thinks, well, red flag here, potential fraud. So here, character issues, right? And this person hasn't been in business long enough. There's the capacity to pay. So what happens in the end? 10 people apply for a loan from the bank, and only one person, 1 out of 10. Why is that? I mean, that seems like really low odds, right? It's because 90% of all businesses fail within their first 5 years.
Wow.
90%. That's a statistic straight from the SBA. And the bank knows this statistic. Put yourself in the bank's shoes for just a second. If your business model is that you make money when you lend it out to somebody and they pay you back with interest, how likely are you to lend money to somebody that you know in the next 5 years before their money's due back to you? They're going to go out of business, file bankruptcy. You're not going to see or hear from them again. Are you going to just give that money out to them? It's not going to happen. So what are you going to do? You're going to tighten your lending restrictions. You're going to try and find which businesses are legitimate and which businesses are maybe hobbies that aren't really real. And so that's what you're going to do. So what we want to do is we want to help you wade through this whole field of entrepreneurs here to become that guy or that gal that when you apply, you have the confidence to know that you've already been approved before you even filled out or turned in the application. So how do we do that? Well, the way we do that is I turn the content portion of the rest of this program over to my business partner who unlocks the mysteries of the universe and unravels ancient wisdom from scrolls hidden deep in vaults that have the wisdom of the ages. Specifically speaking, my business partner, Mr. Ray Fleming, has owned more businesses than I have fingers and toes. And he's learned quite simply from having an eBay business and having a kettle corn business and having handyman businesses and wholesale companies and fix and flip companies. And he has buy and hold property companies that hold his rentals. This guy knows how to build business credit. He's done it for just in the last year, he's done it for over 65 people. 65 business owners have turned to this guy for his wisdom on how to build business credit and build a sustainable future for their business, because this is what he's done. He has a very successful company. Right now, with the properties that he has, he's worth, his portfolio is almost $1 million. So this is somebody that you have a lot to learn from, who's had a lot of success, and he's learned from his mistakes as well. And he's going to share with you that wisdom today. So please welcome to this YouTube channel my business partner, best friend, Mr. Ray Fleming.
He started when he was 3 years old, folks. Right. 3 years old, he started in business. Awesome.
All right. Perfect. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you. All right, so we're always talking about the good stuff in the business credit world, but really want to dive into it again to really get into those aspects of how to foundationally structure your business. This is not just business credit we're talking about here. We're just talking about setting up a legitimate business, regardless of how or what your goals are. You need a credible company, because it doesn't just transfer to the lenders, it transfers to your customers, and it'll transfer to everybody that you're doing business with.
You're not going to tell them how you saw the light?
Oh, we're going to get to that. We'll come back to that. Now, so these are just some of our deals that we've been able to do. I'm nothing spectacular. I barely passed high school. Dropped out of college. There's nothing special about Ray except for Ray doesn't give up. Mainstream school wasn't right for me. That's okay. Mainstream school just basically teaches you how to be an employee. I'm an outside the box thinker. I'm like a caged animal. I don't like to be caged up. And that's why, things where people think outside the box, seminars, trainings, I'm always going to, I'm a seminar junkie. I love reading books. I like learning because knowledge is the most important thing, but I just don't, all of you on here, you learn from YouTube. We learn from all these different ways. It wasn't traditional school, which was right for me. Mm-hmm. But that's all I did was I went through trainings, I went through seminars, I did classes, and I learned how to do real estate, and all I did was implement what I learned into real life. And I surrounded myself with people like CJ, Joseph, who were on that same path. And that's really what allowed us to do what we were able to do so far in just a very quick period of time. But to really get into what the differences are between business credit and personal credit, I'd like to give you a little test here. We have our SSN, which is what?
What is that? What is SSN, folks?
versus EIN.
There we go. We're going to show you some.
Social security number,
There we go.
employer identification number.
That's what it stands for.
Similar
Good job.
to it's the tax ID for, this is your tax ID for your personal self and tax ID for your business. Now, what is the perfect score for your personal credit? So if you were to achieve a perfect personal credit score, what number would that be?
We're talking about FICO 8, FICO 9.
Yeah, so there's a couple different scoring models, but majority of scoring models will produce at the top end an 850. Most of the scoring models. There's a few others out there, but we're not getting into that. Perfect business credit score. If you don't know that, that's definitely what we're going to cover tonight. Now, who reports? So if you needed to find your personal credit score, where would you go?
Credit Karma.
You could go to Credit Karma. Yeah, there's a lot of different services out there, but what are they going to do? If you go to Credit Karma, they're going to go to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and pull a report and put it through some type of scoring algorithm to get you a score. Same thing for the business side. It's going to go through some type of reporting agency. But who are those three big bureaus that report? Well, we're definitely going to cover that as well. What affects your personal score? So, if you're thinking about what affects your personal credit score, what could cause it to go up or down? We have payment history. So some of you are probably thinking payment history. And if you said utilization, or you're thinking utilization, or you don't know what utilization is, that's really just how much of your available credit is being used. So if you have a $1,000 limit on your credit card and you're using $500 of that gets carried over, then your utilization is at 50%. What percentage of your available credit are you using? Now, inquiries. We all should understand at this point, when you're checking out in a store and they say, hey, would you like to save 20% by applying for the credit card? That 20% is not worth it. Your inquiries on your credit score are very, very valuable. Very valuable. And actually, it will heavily affect your approval ratings as well. Really, lenders want to see less than 2 inquiries every 6 months in order to maximize some approvals. Really, 0 is ideal. Age of accounts. So this is how long your accounts have been opened. And remember, these are all things that are affecting your personal credit score. So we have payment history, we have how much credit you're utilizing, we have inquiries, we have the age of accounts. That's why if you close, say, an old account, an old credit line, it can actually hurt your score. You may be thinking, oh, well, I'm not using that credit card anymore. Or Dave Ramsey told me to cut up my credit cards and throw them away and close those accounts. Terrible idea. The worst advice ever. Next, we want to see the mix of accounts. So that you have a credit card, you have a HELOC, you have a student loan, you have a home loan, you have a car loan, that you have several different products that are, it's a symbol of what you were able to accomplish. Not only that, but how much you were able to handle once you were given that. Now, what affects your personal, or actually your business score? So on the business side, there's things that affect your personal side, but on your business side, what affects that score? Some of you already know this, but we're definitely going to dive into that a little bit more in just a minute. Now, when we start bringing up personal credit, all of you have some number in your head, or maybe you have no idea where your credit is even at. These are things that you're going to have to get real about. And how long will it take for you to actually build your personal credit, go through a credit repair, or if you have some dings and dents or bankruptcies or foreclosures? Some of you may be thinking, well, Ray, it's probably going to take me forever to get that fixed. This is a great thing, because I was in that situation. How do we come out of this? How do we become successful and leverage other people's funds to go do what we need to do in business? Well, we're going to talk about how business credit very quickly can generate the types of resources that you need to do what your God-given purpose is. Now, disclaimer. not an attorney, not a licensed professional in any shape, or I'm not using those licenses to specifically counsel anybody on this YouTube directly. We do business consults, so you can reach out to us at wiseguysandties.com. Fill out the business consultation form. We have financial advisors, we have financial loan brokers on our team, and we can help you out. But through this is just generalized information. Each specific situation is unique as the deal itself. So with that being said, we're talking about if you don't know where your credit's at, if you don't know where your business credit's at, if you don't even know where your business is going, you have to get real with that. You gotta understand the reflection in the water. All of us got ready this morning. Well, most of us, maybe you didn't. Maybe you're still in your PJs. But at some point in the last week, I'm sure you've looked in a mirror and you know what you look like. You could probably pick yourself out from a lineup of people. But could you pick your business out in a lineup of businesses if it did not have necessarily your business name? I mean, or some other aspects. Would you be able to pick it out? Would you be able to identify it from some of the aspects and the details of your business? This is what's really important. You know, if you just showed, you know, my right arm, I could probably figure out that was my right arm. But what my point is, we are not used to diving deep into what our business is like we are ourselves. This is the main point of what we're going to cover, is evaluating, examining, and getting on the same page so we know exactly what we're doing. Now, I'd like to bring up, this is my daughter. She's a fantastic little lady, but more specifically, she likes this little pillow. She carries this pillow with her everywhere. She still has it. As she gets older, this pillow just won't go away. I can't bring myself to actually throwing it away. But I've even left it at gas stations, not on purpose, and it created a nightmare situation where I had to turn around, go back, and get the pillow because there was just something about it that made her feel right. If you have children, there's been those children that you've known or that you've had that feel comfortable in certain situations, feel comfortable when they have that blanket, they have that stuffed animal, they have something that is familiar to them. Now, why is that so important when it comes to business credit and being credible to your customers? Your customers know what a legitimate company feels like. You have instant gut reactions when somebody calls you on the phone. They're like, hello, you have just won $100,000. You just need to call or press 2, and then right after the message, if you would like to be put on our do not call list. It's like, okay, do people still actually fall for some of these things? Or maybe you did. I don't know. Maybe I haven't actually gone through to find out if they're legitimate. I just feel weird about that situation, so I don't dive into it. We want your business to just spew legitimacy. In that way, people will not only feel comfortable about going to you for whatever your service or product is, but people will also feel comfortable about giving you their money to invest into what you're doing. Because when you go and get business credit, business lines, that's really asking somebody else to invest into your business. Now, are you treating your business like a hobby? If you're going to do a business, if you're going to create a business, if you're going to go the extra mile, make sure that you're not treating it like a hobby. If you're going to build something, you know, when I was younger, I'd like to build these little model cars. I'd save up some money, go buy a model, build it, work on it. I'm a very visual, hands-on person. But many of my first few businesses were save up some money and build it and try to just keep it, you know, because I was entertained with what I was doing, and my attention lost focus as quickly as it started because I wasn't serious. I was treating it more of about something exciting and new and fun, and it was a hobby, and it ended up just costing me like a hobby would. Now, when we're starting our companies, one of the most important things, just like a little baby child is the name. You're going to spend so much time thinking about your business name, if it's going to involve your last name, if it's going to have your initials, what your family and friends, you'll put on Facebook and say, what do you think of this business name? But you will go through this whole long process, but we never spend any time to figure out if that is a legitimate name. And when I mean legitimate, is it something that's going to create issues for lending? There's a lot of companies out there that are in restricted industries, and most of our little entrepreneurial startup, small and medium-sized businesses are restricted industries because statistically, most of them fail within the first 5 years. That's really what it is. So when we're naming something, especially our business, we need to make sure we're picking a good name. Ben. The name Ben doesn't set off any red flags right away, unless you have somebody that beats you up named Ben. Then it's going to be a bad name for you. But most of us might say, Ben, just an average American name, Ben. There we go. But like this real estate guy over here, bend over, that's just therapy waiting to happen. So imagine that if you were in class back in middle school, elementary school, and the teacher's like, is bend over here? Bend over, first day of school. His parents must have just figured, they just thought, this is going to be a great idea. This is going to toughen him up. But now he's smoking crack under a bridge. So choose things wisely. From such an early start, in an early point, be serious about what you're doing. And dive in and think about not only what it's going to look like to you, but what is it going to look like to other people.
That's good.
Real estate is a restricted industry. That is a heavily risky area from the lender's perspective, except for that they create mortgages and invest into real estate every single day. What about investments? Putting that in your business name. These can create some issues, and the issues arise in its creating uncertainty. If I have investments in my name, I don't know what that is. If I'm a lender, I don't know what that is. It's just creating confusion. Are you another financial institution? Are you a brokerage? Do you do mutual funds? What type of investments? The whole world of investments is huge, and it creates uncertainty for lenders, which can actually prevent you from getting funding. However, it's not a total deal breaker. All your little ducks need to be in a row, though, in order to reach the goal. The other thing, so as we're going through this process of, we got to get a good name, and then as we're getting a good name, we got to figure out where our business is going to be located. Many times, we point different agencies and our bank and customers, we point everybody in different directions. So maybe when you first filed your paperwork, you're thinking, okay, I'm just going to have to use my home address because I don't have any other address, and I don't want to I don't have the money to go buy an office or lease out an office, which is okay. An office is the next step where we want to, if you're going to have an office, if you're going to have an office, a physical address, you need to have some type of physical office presence to maximize your lending ability. Now let's say, oh, well, I'm on YouTube and there's a guy that's telling me that I could go to UPS store because it looks like a street address and it doesn't look like a mailbox, because I heard that we should not be using P.O. box numbers. Banks won't let you open an account with a P.O. box. So many people say go to UPS store, go to mailbox, etc. Use one of their addresses. It doesn't work that way because everybody has Google. They know who UPS stores are. They know where all these things are located. What I personally like is virtual offices, because it's a way that you can have different office locations, be able to use that if you're needing an hourly office space or just a space to meet some clients, or it's in another city that you frequently travel to. Fantastic options. However, you're just going to get thrown into the pool of all the other businesses unless you get a private mailbox number. Very important. Now, I also had my mom's house. When I had my little landscaping business, I used my mom's house. I didn't know about virtual offices. I didn't want to spend the money on a UPS store. I didn't know these things, but I didn't want anybody stealing my tools. So I used a relative's house. All of these things create problems because whether it's my house, my mom's house, it's still a home-based business, and most home-based businesses are hobbies. So the lenders are going to limit you how much they're actually going to get. You could get the process started, but there's going to become a time where they're just going to cut you off before you actually reach the true credit lines. Now, we got a little test for everybody on the line here. And tonight, we are giving away
a new car.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
A new virtual car. Yes. No, we're going to give away a picture of a car that we will email to you. No. No. What are we going to give away? We're going to give away our full slew of freebies that we give away not freebies, but they're about $400 value of just books, business credit tutorials, things like that. We will give you, and we will send that to you for the first person to get the answer right. What I want you to do is now, hopefully you're good at math, or you don't need to be good at math, because there's going to be there's something going on here that you got to figure out, and you got to figure out what is wrong.
Where's the mistake?
Yeah. So
I know.
First person to get it right, to shout it out, to type it in, what the problem is here.
What's the problem?
I know.
What's the problem right here?
I know. Pick me.
Or what's the solution? What's the issue taking place here?
Go ahead and type it in. What is the mistake right here?
And then we're going to email you a full pack of freebies as far as, business credit guides and all sorts of stuff. Who do we get?
Annette. You get it. Spot us twice.
Perfect.
The rookie. Look. The rook. 10. 2 spots. Raul. Spot spelled twice. So Cannon Coltrane. Spot.
So the first person who got that in,
good job,
needs
Annette.
to contact you, and we'll get them those 6 free.
We're gonna get you taken care of.
Play 2 spots. All right.
So yeah,
good job,
that's
you guys.
The issue.
Very observant.
Many times when you're going over things, you may have missed it. You may not have missed it. It may have been something you just caught right away. But it depends on. Many times when we're going through our documents, there could be extra words. There could be misspelled words. Mm-hmm. The addresses could be wrong. There could be a north when it needs to be a south. Right. There could be abbreviations when it needs to be fully spelled out, and vice versa. There could be symbols when there needs to be words, and there could be so many different things that are wrong in your documentation. And that, my friends, is the reason for denials. Right. Most of the time, reasons for credit denials in the beginning is there's something wrong with your paperwork. That's right. Your your bank address is different from the Secretary of State address. All these little things can create discrepancies, which create character issues for lenders, and they just start to feel uncomfortable. Yes. Remember, you're trying to beat the bank. You're trying to beat a computer. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to beat a computer algorithm that instantly will approve you for your line of credit.
What are those?
I know, right? So some of you are like, is it some type of microwave? No, my friends, these are payphones, and I used one when I was little.
We should be in a museum.
Payphones, do they fit in your pocket?
No, yeah. So what went along with these was phone books, and more specifically, why everyone has a toll-free number, an 800 number. They have these things because everybody used to have to pay.
It's called Google today, Ray.
Yeah, Google. Everybody has cell phones. Most likely, your long distance is included in your cell phone plan most of the time. Now, of course, there's still home phones and there's still some of these, but it's really getting outdated, and I only give it a few more years before it's completely gone. But 800 numbers, having one is a huge sign of credibility. But you also need a local number to be in the directory. You have to make sure that you're in the directory. More specifically, the National 411 directory. So you need to be able to check that. If you don't know how to check it, reach out to us, wiseguysandties.com, fill out the consultation form, and we'll check it for you. Yeah, we'll see if your business is in there, because if you're not, you're not getting any money.
No soup for you.
No soup for you. No, but it's a real thing. They don't care if you have a website. They care more if you're in the phone book, because it's a sign of legitimate companies. And it's still around. Yeah. Now, the next thing is, what number are you putting in there? You got to have a local phone number, but it cannot be a Google Voice number. It can't be any freebie numbers. It needs to be a legitimate number, not your personal cell phone number, a legitimate line dedicated to your business, registered to your business. So when somebody looks up that phone number, it's registered to your business. Now, we aren't going to dive in. If you have a business cell phone, that gets a little tricky, but we can do it. We just need to double check some things. And like I said, feel free to, we extend a 30-minute consultation to talk about what your business credit needs are. And if that's one of your issues that you may be running into, let's talk about it. We got some companies that for a very, very cheap price, monthly fee, you can just have a registered business line. It's very important to have. Now, we've talked all of this. We haven't talked about email, though, because email is the new age of communications. You need to know how to send emails. You know how to receive emails. You got to be able to use emails for your business doings. Now, say you've been meeting with Joseph at the bank, and he had some wiring instructions on something that was taking place, and you notice that this email came up for some change of wiring instructions. And you're like, ooh. Instantly, this should send off red flags, alarms. Obviously, you're like, scam. Why, though? Why would you instantly think scam or somebody's Gmail? Mm-hmm. But we all have Gmail accounts. I just assume now when somebody's telling me their email address, I'm assuming it's going to be Gmail at the end. Rarely somebody's like, at AOL. I'm like, oh man, is AOL still around? They still service? But it's true. Gmail, we like it because it's easy and it's free. It's amazing what Gmails, or what they supply, people should pay for that. Now, instantly changing it, the domain, moving the name and switching it here, instantly starts to let you feel a little bit more credible. You start to feel more comfortable. You're still going to verify and check, but you instantly feel like, okay, this is actual, like from the company because of the domain name. What you need to do is go get your domain. There's great sources out there, there's like Namecheap. You can go get some for 99 cents for your first year. Super inexpensive. And then you use that and host your email. All you need is one email address, but you need a business email address. This is a sign of legitimacy. Your name at yourbusiness.com. Put that on your business card. Slap it on a shirt, that you can wear to family reunions and monster truck rallies. Those are all the great places to wear your
There we go.
It's very important to have the right permits. If you need the right licensing. This happens in real estate when you didn't follow the rules. You get a stop work order. And this is what's going to happen with your funding if you don't follow the process. You're going to get a stop right here, no funds for you, because you may have not had the right licensing, or maybe you do have the right licensing, but you have the wrong address. We're talking about everything needs to match, even the address on your license. So if you're a general contractor, that license is your business address. And so many denials take place from situations like that.
Is that really a big issue? I mean, how many people does that really affect?
It affects anybody that has it wrong. It is a big issue. These things are big issues. I make these a big issue because nobody else thinks they're a big issue, and that's why nobody gets any money.
So you're saying,
I know why you're broke.
you're saying that these are the number one issues that you found why people don't get funding.
These are the number one issues. I would not spend so much time stressing out about this, and you need to go back through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Folks.
Is that address correct? And you're like, well, yeah, it said 86 South Benson Street or whatever. And then you like, oh, wait, it's actually supposed to be North Benson Street. But you read it so quickly, you're just like, it looks good. And you move forward.
No.
Computers don't miss. I mean, they do, but they're really good at making sure things line up perfectly. Yep. They're very good at it.
So you're talking, you've worked with realtors and people with nail salons and...
You name it. Nail salons, realtors, contractors, handymen. I mean, just little barber shops, truck drivers, you name it. Everybody has the same issue.
Look at that, man. Yikes.
This is what we want. We want all of our money outside of the piggy bank because there's no more room in the piggy bank.
That's right.
We don't love it. We just want it to solve our problems.
There you go.
No. So,
answers all things.
The idea is, where are you putting the money? When your business starts to make money, where's your money going? Is it going into your personal bank account? Are you dealing in cash? I know some people that were in the same field that I was in that used to just get paid cash, and it was like, did that ever happen? It's kind of one of those things. I don't recommend you doing that. This is a legitimate, ethical situation that you're trying to grow. You're trying to grow a business. Be a true business owner and be a true American and claim what you're making. There's so many ways that you can write off all of this stuff. You don't even need to pay taxes if you do it the right way. So be ethical, be responsible, but do it the right way. And after you exhaust all of your tax write-offs, you should be happy to pay tax, because the greatest thing is not to wish for less taxes, but to wish for more taxes that you have to pay, because that means that your business is thriving so much, you just simply can't write it off anymore.
Oh, nice.
Wait a minute, so you're saying you should open a business bank account?
Open a business bank account.
Open it right.
Yeah, that whole thing right there was to drill the fact that you need a business bank account. You don't want to be running this through your personal account. You need a legitimate business bank account, because from the lender's perspective, they don't consider you actually being in business until your business bank account is up and running. Before that, you're just in startup mode. They want to see account open, start putting something through there.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
What else we got here? Next, we are going through the list. Let's talk about the list. So, business phone number, address, business name, fax number, email. We got to go with the Secretary of State, the IRS, licensing authorities, your bank, your website, credit bureaus, 411. And as you're running through there and checking everything out, boom, 411 is not even up and running. You did everything else. Well, 15-yard penalty, woo, lost the business credit. I got to learn. Yeah, there you go. I need to just carry a whistle. I'm so official, all I need is a whistle. There we go. But what we have just covered is the foundational aspects of setting up a credible business. This is not just for lending, this is for being ready to play the game.
We're not even on the field yet?
Not even on the field yet.
Not yet.
Not even on the field yet. So we got that, and now we got to get our advertising in place, which means what I'm talking about is we got to go make sure that people know about us. When you set out into the world to establish your first credit card in your personal name, you did not have to go to Aspirin. You did not have to go to TransUnion. They just pulled that data for you.
Yes.
Dun & Bradstreet is the business credit bureau, the largest business credit bureau. And you need to register with them. Just like you were as a baby, had some documentation filed and registered, The same thing needs to happen for your business. But it's your responsibility. There's not a little nurse walking around to say, time to register your baby. Doesn't happen. You got to take the initiative to go register your business and get a DUNS number. Because not only do you need an EIN, you need a DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet before you can start building business credits.
How much does one of those cost?
They cost $5,000. No, average actually is about $1,500 that gets spent at Dun & Bradstreet.
Nice.
Like I said, go to wiseguysandties.com, fill out our application, and we will consult, and we'll talk to you about how to get it for free. Huge, huge.
That is huge.
Don't spend any money that you don't have to. Once you start having some accounts reporting, you're going to be scored on what's called the PAYDEX. This is 0 to 100. That's simple. 100 is the perfect, 0 is the worst. Okay?
Hey, that was simple.
80 to 100 is really like 800 to 850 personal credit. You're going to not really see much difference in the approvals. They just want to see that you have a really good credit rating. Now, there's also some smaller, Experian and Equifax have some smaller business chapters that they're trying to get up and running, but Dun & Bradstreet still runs the show. They do. Now, let's take a look at this, because why is this so important? Why am I stressing out about this so much? Well, business credit is absolutely necessary for every company. Now, let's take a look at one of the largest retailers in the world, Walmart. Just in America, over 60,000 different vendor supplier accounts. Because that's what we're talking about. That's what the credit is. It's all these accounts, business to business, financial institutions. Those are who's reporting. Now, this is the great thing. You can go check any business you want. You can go see what their business credit score is. Before you're doing business with somebody, see if they're paying their bills. When we went to Experian to check Walmart's accounts, to see how many accounts actually showed up, let's hear some guesses. Let's have some guesses on how many of the 60,000 accounts show up. Do all 60,000 show up? Do none show up? Do half of them show up? What do you think is going to come up here on the Experian business credit report for Walmart?
Half.
So,
half?
well, Walmart has all these accounts with these different vendors.
Right.
They got 60,000 accounts.
Yep.
So, I mean, why not 60,000 accounts with all these vendors?
It's obviously you're setting this up for it's less. How about just 10%?
10%.
Okay.
10%.
Yeah.
We got anybody else out there? What do you guys think?
What do you think?
What do you guys
What do you
think?
think? It's going to be 10%? Is it going to be...
All right. So what it actually works out to is 513.
Oh, my word.
Less than 1%, really. But it averages anywhere from 1 to 3%. That's really what it is. Because most of these companies are these little mom and pop shops. These guys make cooler pads down in Tucson, Arizona. They have a lot of vendor accounts, but it's all just local contractors, local handymen, property owners, property management. That's who they have. They're not going to pay Dun & Bradstreet $2,000 a year just to report their lines of credit. They've been around for 60 years. They're trying to make their business just keep working. Now, that's who you're going to have accounts with, but they don't report. So that's the problem. All those 60,000 out there, there's so many out there that are just local to where their Walmart is. There's so many different places like that. Even the big ones, even big companies don't even like to report. Best Buy doesn't even report. Like, you could be, it's like, how do we find these vendor credits? And that's what we talk about the first of 4 rounds. This is first of 4 rounds. Vendor credit. These are the beginning trade lines. These are what we call net accounts or net 30s. This is on a net 30 account. You get the product today and you have 30 days to pay it back. It's a small, quick line of credit. Some extend it further to 60 days, net 90. It could be as short as net 10, net 15. What it is just in that in that amount of days, you need to have it paid back. And you can't pay it the day before because it might process late. You need to pay it on time or early. If it's in that 22 days after purchase is the ideal time to make sure that payment is going through.
So we're finally on the field now. We're like in the first
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah.
We're finally.
So now we're starting to actually build something. What we did was we went through and we made sure our business was set up the right way. Then we made sure that somebody was there to catch the ball. And that was Dun & Bradstreet. That was Business Experian and Equifax Small Business. Those are the receivers. So now we're ready to start playing and start throwing some balls over to Dun & Bradstreet for them to catch. So as we go and open up these accounts, that is the goal of setting these up.
So how many people that you work with actually skip all the first stuff that you talked about and are here or on one of the other steps?
How many skip the first steps? Well, it's not that all the first steps get skipped. Some of the first steps get hit. And that's the problem, is without having everything combed over with a fine-tooth comb, you may be thinking it's the vendor is not reporting, or the vendor, there's something that's, you may just not be able to figure it out. You may get through the first round, but you're going to get stopped in the second round. There's so many issues that are going to arise from not having all the foundational steps in place. And that is the biggest problem we see is
God bless
sneezing.
You.
That's the biggest problem we see. No, but I'm allergic simply to people thinking that they can do it and cut corners. You can't go get a shelf company. They know. You can't go out there and buy trade lines. They know. There's so many unethical ways to try to get around it. You just simply can't. You got to just build it legitimately. That's what you got to do. And we go to these vendor accounts and we will supply it. Like I said, go to wiseguysandties.com, fill out the business console, and we'll talk about which vendors you got to go to get what you need. So in those beginning vendor accounts, like I said, out of 97% of them will not be reporting. So that's why Walmart doesn't have many that show up on their credit reports. That's the problem. So we will show you who those 3% are. There's not that many. And I just found out one today that we've been using fell off again. There's so many that are always changing, and we keep the most up-to-date tracking record of who reports. Not only who reports, who they report to. Also, what you have to do to apply. Also, how and how much and when and what and why. We give you everything. So all you have to do is just walk right through it. Store credit. Because this is the second phase. What we did right here is we went out and we found 5 of these beginner accounts. Maybe it's only a $100 credit line, but it was something, office supplies. And then we got our products, we paid our bills. We waited. We checked our credit reports. Because that's another thing too. For $24 a month, we can help, you can hop on and get your credit reports monitored. You will need to do this to make sure that these accounts are showing up. Next, after that first round is reporting, we move on to the store credit. Like I said, you can go to Amazon, but Best Buy, they don't even report, but you could possibly use them for your business. We got Walmart, we got Staples, we got many other companies, but how much do you need to purchase? Can you only purchase 25 and have it report? Or do you have to make a $100 purchase? What is it? We will help you with that. After you go through that process of getting store accounts set up, then we can move on to the next phase. Yes?
We have someone on the line here who's doing this on their own, and they have successfully got 5 trade accounts reporting, and they've got their Dun & Bradstreet set up, and they're ready to go get store credit. So, I mean, again, they don't know any of the underwriting guidelines. What would you advise somebody who's in that position?
Well, if you're in that position and you're trekking along, reach out to us. We got 30-minute consultations that we can sit down and talk to you about how to help you move forward in what you're trying to do. I tried the same way for 2 years took a lot of work. Took a lot of work of really going through it and trying to figure it out. And then I started running into an issue. When I got into this round, all of a sudden, things weren't showing up. And I had made purchases, and I had made expensive purchases too, and they still weren't showing up. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I started getting denials, and I couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't until I really banded together with other professionals who were doing it, and then I was like, oh, you know what? It doesn't even have anything to do with what I did. It was something back in the business foundation that was tripping me up. And so that's what we can help you with. We can help you figure out what it is, why, and how to move forward so you can get this accomplished in the next few months and not the next few years.
Yes.
Because that's the problem. That's the problem. We want to help you.
Drop the mic.
Yes.
Fleet credit. Because then we move on, we get some gas cards, we start working on maintenance for vehicles.
I got gas.
Oh, yeah. We got enough gas for this whole place to blow up. But fleets, trucks, repairs, tires, anything you need for your business. This is the next stage. Also, what about vehicle financing? Say you need a vehicle, we can start working on it here. Now, we'll still have to build some more accounts, but we're going to move you to the point where you'll be able to get loans, lines of credit, cash credit, vehicle financing, everything your business needs to succeed. You may be out there and you're like, hey, how does that company have all those trucks? How did they do it? Well, business credit. That's how they did it.
That's right.
Up.
Cash credit. That's
Final stage.
Yes.
14 accounts on your report. We got Dun & Bradstreet set up. We got $10,000 lines of credit reporting on Dun & Bradstreet. We're now going to cash credit. We're going back to Amazon, having them slap Visa logos on there. We're moving forward with applying for business credit lines, and it just starts to stack and roll from this point. This is the hardest point to get to when not doing it right. This could take you years without a system. If you want to spend your entire career trying to figure out how to get the funding without actually just getting the funding and moving forward, that's kind of what I did, and maybe you'll just end up here talking about business. We had to figure out a way to get you the money. And this is the way it is. So let's talk about Phyllis and Thelma Sample out of LaPorte, Texas. All right, so they basically, this is what happened to them. They went to their bank to get a business line of credit, and they got turned down. They started with the financial advisors along with the business credit builder program to set up business credibility, built their business credit. After following the steps, they've now secured over $96,000 in business credit cards, just applied for the Platinum American Express and got approved instantly with no limit. They now have 4 to 5 different lenders calling them each and every day trying to give them money, and that's a great problem to have. But this is the key to everything. When everything is set up right, instantly approved. That's what it is. These instant approvals, going over to the credit department, just putting it in and getting approved, that's what happens. Yes, sir.
What kind of results could somebody, that's the results that the Phyllis and Thelma Sample got. What results could somebody expect to get in working with you for 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months, it's reasonable to expect anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 in lines of credit. That's what it is. It's very quick.
Did you say 6 to 12 months or 6 to 12 years?
6 to 12 months.
Oh, okay.
So within 12 months, say you don't even have a company up and running, within 12 months, the money that you need to go handle your business. But say if you're like, oh, well, I'm just starting out. I want to do real estate. I don't know much about real estate. Well, if you start now learning about how to do real estate, getting plugged into a local network, I know we speak all over the country. I know almost at least one real estate investor in every major city there is. So wherever you are in the country, I bet I could find somebody to get you plugged into that at least you could go and have coffee with. That's the key to success. And so
you're amazing, Ray. We love you.
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, so you start now building your business credit while you spend the next year learning about how to do real estate. And then when you're ready to actually execute and buy your first rental or whatever it is, partnering on that deal, you have the funds ready to do it. Now, of course, you could do it a lot quicker, and there's ways that you could get $150,000 in the next 3 weeks. But we don't have enough time to cover that today. And so to find out how to do that.
So you're saying that there's an appropriate time to use a personal guarantee, but you also know how to do this without a personal guarantee.
If you want to figure out, which direction, and if you want to find out how people like a physician that we just worked with, how they just got almost $150,000 in about 3 weeks. If you want to find out how to do that, then you have to go to wiseguysandties.com and fill out the business credit consultation, and we'll talk to you about how they were able to fund their businesses so fast. 27 different ways we can fund your business like that. Great stuff. Will this work for you? Because you may be thinking, that sounds great and all. But look, if this... Will this work for you? And yes, it will, if you do the work. But of course, if you don't do the work, then it won't work. And then you could be like Abigail, getting JCPenney cards. And you may be thinking, JCPenney, they got appliances, they got pants, put some pants on while you shop for appliances. And then, Office Depot, and you may be thinking like, oh, well, that's just $200 at office supplies. That's exciting. That's so exciting, those little beginner accounts, because what that means is that's opening the door to $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
That's right.
Once you start getting approvals, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. Go to Wise Guys and Ties on Instagram, hit likes, go to YouTube, like, subscribe, Facebook, you can find us everywhere. Testimonials, reviews, and don't bite off more than you can chew. Because that, my friends, you're going to get a lot of money very quickly. Lots of money very quickly. It's easy to get out of hand. So you have to be responsible, make sure your bills can get paid, because remember, the number one killer of business credit is late payments. Late payments? Don't let it happen. It'll hurt you.
Don't let this happen to you. So let's recap, see what you learned today. In comparison, as we started the day, perfect business credit score. What is it? I knew the answer.
It's 100 paychecks. There you go. Who reports on the business credit? The 3 big bureaus for business credit. Who reports? Who reports? Who reports?
Pick me. Pick me.
Come on, folks. Hey, you got this. All right. Who reports? The big one. Name the big one.
Credit Signal.
Credit Signal.
Ray, you are really good at what you do. Totally impressed. Thank you, Samuel Wellington. Awesome.
Business Experience and Equifax Small Business.
See, they're trying to flatter you, Ray, to see if you'll give anything away for free.
I like to give away stuff for free. Yes. What else can I give away for free?
Let's see here.
I am giving away
an official Keller Williams pen.
Movement. You know what? I'm going to give away this whole cup of pens.
Boom.
All you have to do is pay $9.99 shipping and handling. And it's yours. That is all yours. All yours.
All of it. All of it.
For free.
That's right.
Just shipping and handling. What affects your score?
You already put the answer up there.
Oh, payment history. Yes, that's right. You got it.
There we go. How long does it take? Don't put the answer up. How long does it take
to
build business credit? Is it 3 to 6 years like the average business owner?
Should you redefine what it means to pay, the payment history, what it means to pay on time?
To pay early is to pay on time. So it's one of these things. If you show up for a meeting on time, most likely you're late. So if you show up 15 minutes early, you're on time. Same with business payments. 15 minutes early is on time. You don't want to pay when it's due because it's late. That's what the issue is. And in 6 to 12 months, you will have a super foundation to what you're trying to do. And like I said, if you want to know how to accelerate it, we can get you in more like 60 days if you qualify.
Good job,
We
salute
can
to
get you
Jen.
in
6 to
some
12
really good
months.
stuff. 6 to 12 months doing it
Good
the
job.
legitimate way. We could do it as quick as 60 days.
50.
$50,000.
Yes.
$50,000.
Yes.
And lines of credit in just 6 to 12 months.
It's good stuff.
Antonio says 6 to 12 months. Good job, Antonio Rodriguez. Good job. Awesome.
You want to
All right. So my work here is done for now. But I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you, figuring out how we can expand
There we go.
your business.
All right.
Make some great things happen in 2019. Now, to talk about how do we implement some of this stuff? How does this all work? That's what we're going to talk about. And there's nobody better to do it than Kung Fu Master. He is a triple black belt at baking cakes.
I'm a bowl champion.
He is a champion Boise State alumni. This guy, he's got so many things that he's just like Batman of awards. This guy's got so many awards. He's just like, haha, like this award for this and this award for this. He's an amazing guy, and he knows, because what he's going to talk about is exactly what he did, exactly what I did, is exactly what CJ did. And if you want to do it too, we welcome you to join up what we're doing. So, Mr. Smith, come on up here.
All right. Now
Woo-hoo.
show them the
Right.
secret handshake, all that.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Boom.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Ray Fleming. He is one of a kind. His knowledge is vast and deep. The vault that exists in that man's mind is great, and I love working with him. Now we're going to be talking to you about systems I use. He talked about that I've gotten a lot of awards. It's true, but the most important thing is not the awards that are on the shelf, but how that translates into the dollar bills that are in the bank account, right? Am I right or am I right?
Yes.
Or am I right? All right, so we want to show you how to get there, right? So I want to talk to you about a system that we use, if I can put it up here. So the system we use is a real estate investing education.
We've never shown this much before, have we?
I think we have.
Actually, I don't think this audience has ever seen this. So this is going to be something new, folks. It's going to be something new for you, something you should definitely take advantage of as soon as possible. Please continue on.
Absolutely. I can't wait to show you what I sat in my truck right before coming here and put together in about 5 minutes. You're going to be impressed with the amazing graphics on display here, folks, okay? So the only thing that could have set me is a lack of applause, all right? So just keep that applause rolling. All right, so we're talking about a real estate investing education system here. The Renatus education is the one that we use, and the cost of this is $2,000 to $20,000. Just depends on what it is that you want to accomplish, right? This is a system. This is an education, right? I mean, first of all, let's be straight. Why are we talking about education? You're like, I don't even know if I want to buy education. Hey, bottom line is you're going to buy education, all right? Yeah. Do you want to pay for it, through the School of Hard Knocks? Because that's expensive. Yes. Or do you want to purchase it and have it as a tax write-off, right? And be able to learn and become successful the same way that CJ is successful, the same way that Ray Fleming is successful. Yes. Yeah, I want to be like those guys when I grow up. I really do. So here we are. We're looking at the way the education breaks down into two portions, the essentials and then the AIT. Now, think of this as like a college type of education, the way it's formatted into 100, 200, 300, 400 level classes. Your freshman year, 2 semesters worth of education, the basic foundation of education is in the essentials. And then what are you going to major in, right? Are you going to major in fix and flips, buy and hold, short sales, multifamily, seller finance notes, commercial real estate? There are so many different areas, as I said, to play in the real estate sandbox. It is incredible, amazing. So also keep in mind that this education that we're talking about, when you enroll in this is an actual college. There's a campus up in Salt Lake City. You can go there. You take your classes live, right? You can stream them live as they happen if you don't happen to be in Salt Lake City. And the classes are recorded so you can watch them on demand. But once you get your education, it's lifetime, for the lifetime of the company. And the Renatus is a company that has no debt. They're running 7 digits in the black every year. You can check their books. This is a company you can research and find a lot about. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been in the Inc. 5000 for several years in a row. This is real estate investing done right. Real estate investors teaching other real estate investors how to be real estate investors, right? I come to you as somebody who came to this education. I learned how to do it, and I became a success. Will you have the same success? I don't know. Here's the full disclaimer. You need to do your due diligence, right? You need to check this out. Now, some of you are probably going to do even better than I did, but everybody's results is going to depend upon you and your own factors that play into your market, and you have to implement these strategies. It's not enough. We have a lot of people who enroll in the education and then they don't take their classes, and then they wonder why they struggle. You got to take your classes. You got to connect with mentors and coaches, and you got to work with a community that supports you through this. So we're just simply showing you a system that we use. Now, what I'm going to talk to you is I'm going to break down this education and how we use this education to get a deal. Just like the deal that we talked about last week, and I mentioned at the beginning, where we got a house and in 35 days, we made a $20,000 profit. Now, is that typical? I don't know. Probably not. Some people have done it in even fewer days and made more money. Some people have made less. How long will it take you? It depends. It depends on you. How much do you want it? How much are you willing to put into it, right? You're in the driver's seat. So we can go as this education, this mentorship, this coaching is designed to go as fast as you want to go, or to take your time and to go as cautious as you want to go. It's really up to you. But I want to show you how we implement this. How do we take all of these different strategies? And we're just going to look at right here the essentials courses and fix and flipping. A lot of people love fix and flipping. What Ray trained on today is just one of us, as I said, of 60 different classes that comprise this entire education. Not little short YouTube videos. We're talking about 6 to 8 hour long classes where you have workbooks and you have tests and you have study groups and you have coaching sessions. Like, this is a robust education, all right? Because we're dedicated to your success. So how do we make this happen? Well, first of all, we got to get into our essentials. The whole goal, the whole purpose of the essentials is to teach you how to keep your wealth. What good is it if we show you how to do technically how to do a fix and flip, and you're not set up, you're not structured legally in the correct manner? You go out, you make $20,000, your income now goes up by $20,000, you go into a new tax bracket, you have to claim capital gains, and you're getting taxed more. And so you went through all that work and you gave it all away to the government, federal, state, local taxes, fees. But you need to know how to set yourself up so that when you make money, you keep the money.
Doesn't
legally.
that make sense, folks?
So we're talking about 64 hours worth of classes of real concentrated study, over 11 classes. There are 9 tests. Now, some people are like, ooh, I don't know about tests. Don't tell me. Well, look. You take a pre-test and it really tells you what you don't know. Then you take the class and you go through the workbook and you got a study group and you have coaching sessions, right? You're going to go through this education so that by the time you get to the end of the class, you take the test and then you can pass. Now, what is a passing grade? What would you consider a passing grade?
What's a passing grade?
Let's say you had somebody who was going to work with your self-directed IRA. And you wanted to know that they were going to do a good job. What kind of passing grade would you like to know that they got in their self-directed IRA class so that they understand what to do? Would you be comfortable with a 65%? 75? 80?
Okay.
What would you be comfortable enough with somebody who is working with your money?
That is a good question. What would you be comfortable with, Antonio? Samuel Wellington? What would you be comfortable with? What, 70, 80, 90, 100?
Any answers? Any answers?
What would you be comfortable with?
Hello, YouTube? Are you there?
They're probably
Come
typing
on.
right now. We got some slow typers in here. You know, they have to stuff to look at the keyboard or whatnot. It's all
right.
good.
What is a passing grade? A passing grade is 100%.
Yes.
Think about it. In this course, you got 11 classes. You're talking about velocity banking, how to build and manage your own personal credit, tax and legal strategies on how to put a business together and how to save your money. We're talking about classes on self-directed IRA, how to find money. We used that class to raise last year over $700,000 to do real estate. That's just from one class. There are classes on how to find properties, how to run your numbers, how to market, how to negotiate the deal.
Yes.
How to put a team together. What are the right questions? Who are the right players to be on your team? And what type of interview questions should you have to make sure that somebody qualifies to be on your team? Right? These are all things that go into the essentials. Knowing how to make an offer and acquire a property. All of that right here in your essentials. But not only does it come when you get your essentials, you also get weekly group coaching. Now, these instructors that teach this course, I mean, who are these guys? These are professionals. These are I think of people in three categories when it comes to real estate investing. You got your beginners, you got your intermediate, and then you got your advanced. I consider myself to be intermediate. I have a few deals under my belt. I've really started to build a very successful business. But I look at an advanced person as somebody who's got, a multi-million-dollar portfolio, right?
Yes.
Right. And so these are people that make their full-time living. So when you're learning how to do a fix and flip, our instructors make $7 million a year on their fix and flip business. So you're learning obviously from a successful group of folks. When you're talking to somebody who's teaching you how to save money through tax and legal strategies, this is somebody that saves thousands of business owners every year millions of dollars in tax write-offs, right? We're talking about industry leading professionals. So every week when you get group coached, you're getting coached by one of the instructors, an instructor who is advanced in short sales, somebody who understands foreclosures, tax liens, deeds, right? You're talking about people who know all the ins and outs, so that they're going to train you every week. And then as you go through this education, you might have some questions. There might have been something that was confusing. Well, your weekly group coaching is when you get to ask your questions. But moving right along, now once we have this, however long it takes you to get these classes done, could you do it in 30 days? But will it take you 3 months? Is it going to take you a year? I don't know. You're going to go at whatever speed you want to go at.
Yes.
Right? So I've had some people that I've worked with, like Mr. C.J. Wallace, go through this education in 4 months. All right? So there's some people out there who just absorb information. And I've had some students take 3 years. I mean, everybody goes at their own speed. Once you've learned how to keep your wealth, now it's time to learn how to build your wealth. So with this one strategy, and again, there's so many strategies, we could talk here for like 2 hours, just covering all the different strategies that are out there. Building wealth. Once we learn how to keep our wealth, now we can build it. In essentials, we learn how to acquire properties, how to start our business, how to find finances and resources. Now here in the Accelerated Investor Training, or AIT, we're learning how to build upon that foundation that we set. So now there's 11 classes just in this field of fix and flip, where you're learning everything from how to structure a deal, for a project, I mean, not a deal, but you're structuring the whole project from acquisition to the rehab to the close, So so your classes are going to be market analysis, and they're going to be rehab, how to work with contractors, how to put the whole project together, contracts, how to buy houses at auction, the foreclosure process. You're going to learn about mortgages. You're going to understand all the ins and outs of finding properties, getting them funded, the different ways and the finances that we use every step of the way. You're going to learn about all of your different professionals, and you're going to have all of these strategies put together in a systematic step-by-step. Here's what you do first, here's what you do next, all along the way. Again, 73 hours, 11 classes, 11 tests, and what's a passing grade?
100%.
Well, what if you don't get 100%?
Ooh.
Well, because again, you have lifetime access. You can take the class over and over and over again until you get 100%. All right. And you know, this course, this content, because again, as I said, it is a live college. Your coursework is constantly updated. So all the recorded classes are updated every year. I think it's between 12 to 18 months. You're always getting the most recent market information, the most recent legal information, right? Because laws change. Contract law, 1031 exchanges. You got to understand how all of these work. Cost segregation, how to take down your depreciation. The rules that govern this change on us. Credit management, the laws that govern how we calculate, you know, personal credit, business credit. These courses, they get recorded every year because we want to stay right on the cutting edge of what's happening in society in terms of the laws and in terms of market. Because the market swings. Right now we're in an upcycle. And so certain strategies work better now, but when the market takes a swing, we can still use this education because the education is relevant. It's always updated. So when I'm learning tax and legal strategies, I'm learning 2019 tax and legal strategies.
Yes.
When I'm learning how to fix and flip a property, I'm learning 2019 market analysis information so I know what's happening this year in the market. It's very critical so that your education is not stale. It always stays live and active.
Yes.
All right, so now we've taken these classes, amazing classes. Like in the rehab class, the instructor, Brian Sump, he has this drone and he flies it through the house. So when you walk through a house, you might not even know what needs fixed. He's going to show you the first time you walk through a house, what should you look at? When you look at a window, what are you looking for? When you're looking at the foundation, what is it you're looking for? When you're looking at cracks in the wall, or you're looking at how do you check the electrical and know that it's working, right? These are simple little things that you can do on one walkthrough, and you know what, you can get a good idea of how much money you're going to have to put into the project to get it to its ARV. What's ARV?
What's ARV, folks?
Is that like an all rover vehicle?
What about after repair value?
Bingo. Right? So that's the goal. We want to make sure you get the maximum ARV for your project, because the maximum ARV means you're going to get your maximum P.
There you go.
Profit, baby. Not with the PH, but just the PROFIT.
Yes.
Right? That's what we
awesome.
want. All right. Also keep in mind that when you're in this level of the education, you're getting one-on-one coaching, 6 30-minute sessions with the Renatus instructor, somebody with $1 million real estate portfolio, somebody who makes their money doing what they teach, not somebody who wrote a book on it 10 years ago. You're getting 6 one-on-one coaching sessions to walk you step by step through, if you've never done a deal, walking you through your first deal. If you're doing another type of strategy, walking you through whatever it is your goal is. You're going to sit down and plan it out, and you're going to come and figure out not only the classes, but this coaching isn't like, rah, you can do it. This is coaching as to, okay, here's what you're going to do. Right. Here's your step. You need to get this checklist done. I want you to put together this buyer's list. I want you to go and I want you to get these lists of contractors. I need you to get pricing on these materials. I want you to get a market analysis done for this zip code. You're going to have work, right? It's work, but this is what you need if you want to be successful, is somebody holding your hand every step of the way.
That's awesome.
Right? So now, it's great. How long is it going to take you to do that? 73 hours? I don't know. You know, with these courses online, you can change the speed. You could watch them at double speed if you wanted to. You know, somebody's talking like this as fast as they can. If you can listen and make out what they're saying, right, you can get through your class as fast. Could you do that in a month? I don't know. Maybe it'd take you 3 months. Maybe it'd take you a year. But once you've got your education, because remember, we're all going to pay for an education. We're either going to really pay for it or you're going to pay for it, right? You're going to pay for it wisely. Now it's time to take action. I put this up here, 110-3-1. What does that mean? These are the statistics that exist out there. You have to make 100 offers to get 10 people to say, okay, we'll talk to you, we'll negotiate, here's a counter offer, right?
Yes.
To get 3 people to actually agree to your offer, to get actually to close on one deal. Now, what does that mean? That means to make 100 offers. I've looked at 2, 3, 4,000 properties, right? If I made 100 offers and I got 100 people that said yes, what does that mean?
You gotta slim them down.
Does that mean I offered too much, CJ?
Ooh.
If I made 100 offers
Okay.
and I had 100 people say yes, I'll take it.
Wow. That means you're at 100%.
It does, but keep in mind that if you make 100 offers and you got 100 people that say yes.
Oh, the offer was probably too good for you because you won't be making any profit off it.
Exactly. So you can typically gauge how well you're doing is if you make an offer and about 10% of the time people say yes, you're right about where you need to be. Now, of these 10 people, we say things will happen. Some people won't be able, they're pre-qualified, but then they fall off. But you get 3 people that actually ink the deal. Yes. We sign it, we go to and file it with title and escrow. But the reason why we close on one is because, hey, what happens when the appraisal comes back lower than what was thought of? What happens when it turns out that this brand new roof you thought was up there has a big gaping hole because some swamp cooler has been leaking forever? And I mean, and you're looking at that and you're like, I think what I did is I used my education to give me some contingency clauses so I back out of the deals that aren't good for me.
There you
and
go.
I step into, or I back into
There we go.
the deal that leads me to a $20,000 profit.
Awesome.
Through the education. So that's what that means. So we take action. We take, this whole education is designed to take information straight on to application.
There you go.
All right. And one of the ways that we do that is through a system we call Renatus iOS. This is a tool that takes mere mortals like me and turns me into somebody as powerful as CJ Wallace.
That's right.
Because I have access to the MLS. I have access to web-based software platforms for marketing, for finding leads. So what does this software do? Well, in a nutshell, it helps you find people, it helps you find property, and it helps you find money.
Yes.
Bottom line. Do we need those 3 things to do real estate? Absolutely. We need all 3 of those things. So a software that basically has every property in its database, and it has built into it a repair estimator to allow you to calculate to the penny what your costs are, because it's linked to the Home Depot SKU database. So you can actually in real time see, like, if I need to purchase these materials, what does it cost today at Home Depot, in my zip code, right? So I can piece together what my rehab is going to cost. I can use the MLS access within the software to comp my property, to know to calculate what the ARV is. And so with that, I can also, it has calculators for me to find money. Lenders, you can find a lot of lenders, private hard money lenders through the software, and then you can calculate the cost of what that money is. So once you know what your ARV is, and then you know what your rehab costs are, you know what your money costs are, and you factor in your holding costs, your closing costs, you come up with your profit. If there is no profit, then the numbers don't work, you don't do the deal.
There you go.
Now, when I talked about looking at 2, 3, 4,000 properties, there was a time when I used to drive neighborhoods and I would walk and knock on every door, right? I don't do that anymore. This software, Renatus iOS, it has cut the time down. I can evaluate, like we go to auction, and every week here in my state, there's, well, I don't know every week, but every month there's about 500 properties that come to auction. I use this software and I can break down those properties in just a matter of a couple of days. That's how I can find the gems, and I know what properties to go to auction that I want to bid on, right? Very powerful software, and that's part of this education as well. So we're trying to not only give you the information, and we put together the group coaching and the one-on-one coaching and communities all across the country for you to plug into study groups, to find local resources, the software that's needed for you to find everything you need, all of that for, if you're just getting started here, right? With your Renatus Essentials, $2,000, right? As you get into the education and you're like, this is amazing and you want more, then you can pay for more. And the full education is all the way to $20,000. And you don't pay anything more than that. All the prices are up front. You're not upsold anything more. What you see is what you get. But think about the value. Like, this education cost me $20,000. And just last month, just last week, I finished a deal that took me a month that made me $20,000. And that's not my first deal. That's like my 15th deal, right? What did my education cost me, right? I got to write it off as a tax write-off. I mean, it makes me money. I'm able to find more investors. I have business credit, which is one of the classes that you're going to take up here in the AIT.
Here we go.
This stuff works. This is flat out amazing. But you know what? You don't have to take my word for it, folks. No. Just because it's taken somebody like me who's only making, let's see, what was I making? $31,000 a year to now making just shy of $100,000 a year in only 3 years that it took me to do that, right? I mean, that's average. You might think, well, that's impressive. And other people are like, what? Only 100,000 in that period of time? Folks, keep in mind, I went through 2 foreclosures and a bankruptcy. I had a huge hole to dig myself out of. Yes. But I had the opportunity to do that. How many people, if you went through 2 foreclosures and a bankruptcy, you just cash in your chips, you're done. Having access to the playbook, the strategy for success, this is what has changed my life, changed my family's life. And I want to bring CJ Wallace. Come up here, CJ. Come on. I want you to talk about how getting into this education, what it has changed for you. I mean, velocity banking, business credit, your real estate investing. Come on up here.
Awesome.
Tell these folks just a little testimonial and then I'll close this out.
Absolutely. Well, folks, I wasn't always like this, right? So the first thing that had to change was the mindset, okay? How many of you love Popeye's chicken? Huh? Man, right? Absolutely. Man, I love their chicken. Didn't love the job. However, when I got connected with the education, started implementing it, got my first property, got the fever. Okay, so now I'm a real estate investor and we definitely are looking for some properties. As a matter of fact, if you guys know of any properties, okay, any rental properties, and you don't know what to do with them, go ahead and get in contact with me. All right, I'm done with my plug. But you're talking about real estate investing, education, making over 8,000 in 40 hours, making 20,000 in 35 days. These are things that are not only possible for us, okay? And I want to drive this home. It's possible for you. Making 3,000 in business lines of credit in just under 2 weeks when I got connected with Wise Guys and Ties. Okay, it's not only possible for me, it's possible for you. All right? Listen, guys, I believe in you. I believe in your business and I believe in your success. We're here to drive that home. Okay? Just.
You've talked a lot about your personal success, but how has this education helped you to help others?
Oh, my goodness. How many of you know that once you learn something, right? What do you do with that? Do you let it sit up here? Or do you pass that information along? You got to pass it along. There are others out there that need to know what you already know about velocity banking. There are others out there that, yes, you've gotten taught by us, all right? Hey, they need to know this information. They need to come to the channel, right? They need to hear from you and your testimony. Salute the Jin. He's on here, okay, to part of the business credit. They need to hear from you. Salute the Jin. And so what we do with our education, yes, it benefits us, but man, one of the greatest things is hearing a testimony from someone who didn't know about business credit, who didn't know about real estate investing education, and saying, look, I'm so thankful that I connected with you because now I not only know about it, I'm doing it.
But you've helped people like Kevin, Gerald,
Jim,
yeah. Right? These are people, I mean, There's so many people that you have taken them from, they were losing money in their retirement accounts, and now they're making double-digit returns.
They are. They really are. As a matter of fact, you mentioned Kevin, and I am just flabbergasted at how he was able to come in, have that information enter his mind, and then just take off with it. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit he now has for his retirement. You know, he's a retired firefighter. And I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful that I got to be a part of that. Okay? And I'm thankful to be a part of your success as well. Man, let's just stay connected. All right? Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate it. Yes.
Bring me back up.
Look, so this is going to be Joseph.
Boom.
The mentor.
Yes.
The mentor. He's the reason why. So.
All right, folks. Hey, we're going to close it up right here. But for those of you who, love that business credit information that Ray Fleming got you, text credit 602-497-2257, and you'll get all 4 of those steps, right? It's broken down for you so that you can go over that, right? Text credit to 602-497-2257. Now, I told you about the greatest football game that was ever played, but it didn't end at the end of regulation, right? It went into overtime. I mean, how many of you feel like your business might be going into overtime? You're facing sudden death, right? Well, in overtime, Boise State. Now, who's this picture here? This is Adrian Peterson when he played for the Oklahoma Sooners. And I don't know if any of you know football, but he's one of the best running backs that ever played the game. So here he is. And so in overtime, right, each team gets 4 tries to score. So they hand the ball off. Oklahoma has the ball first. They hand it off to Adrian Peterson, runs up the left side of the field, scores a touchdown, first play of overtime. Oh, man. It feels like we can't catch a break. Have you felt like my competition, they're succeeding, they're innovating, they seem to always be one step ahead of me, and here we are again, like, what am I going to do? How can I level the playing field?
Oh my goodness.
How do I do this? So Boise State, they get the ball, and they only got 4 tries. First try, failed. Second try, failed again. Third try, failed. Oh, no. Now we're in a familiar situation. It's the 4th down, last play of overtime. You either score here or you lose the game.
Yep.
What play they scored? They did another trick play. It was a halfback toss, which means it looks like a run play to the right. But then he throws the ball to a tight end that they didn't see in the end zone. Touchdown. But wait a minute. Touchdowns are only worth 6 points, and they were down by 7. All right, so now, so what happens? So every time you score a touchdown, a team has a choice to kick the extra point, which is like a field goal, right? You kick the ball, or to go for the 2-point conversion, right? So the coach had a choice. He just scored a touchdown. Does he play it safe and kick the extra point and then go for maybe a double overtime victory? Or does he go for the win, play for the 2-point conversion, and try to win the game? But if you don't, you risk everything, you lose. Do you have the play, right? Do you know that business credit is the play that we've been talking about? What do you call upon when you absolutely need a victory? When you're down $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, how do you come back from that? People have used business credit combined with velocity banking to completely obliterate debt and to explode their lines of liquidity and their access to cash. Have invested in tons of real estate, and they did that through business credit. Let's see what Boise State chose to do on the final play of the game.
Right, Boise State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Can you believe it?
Oh man, they shocked the world. They won on what was called the Statue of Liberty play, another trick play. It looks like a pass to the right, but it was actually a fake pass handoff to the running back for a win. Boise State won 43-42. I think it's the most amazing football game ever played. Some people argue that. But the point is, Well, let me ask you this. Are you going to play it safe, or are you going to play to win? That's the bottom line. See, Ray Fleming and I, we play to win, and we want you to play to win. CJ plays to win.
That's right.
In fact, CJ, do you have a way that people here could play to win? Do you have a way that you could show them how to play for win? Why don't you right now show us how we can play to win?
Folks, I want to show you how to play to win, okay? Look, Joseph, that was tremendous, okay? Thank you so much. And these folks, thank you as well. You always do a great job on this, and I want to thank you very much. Listen, I want you to get a close-up of this board here, because this is how you play to win, okay? I'm going to show you how to play to win. The Business Credit Builder. 2,997, okay? Now, if you want a done for you, okay? Done for you is only 15,000. What does that entail? That entails us, right, taking control of the business credit side of your business. Meaning you're going to get to the $50,000 in business lines of credit because we are the ones that will make sure that you do. Okay, within that 6 to 12 month period. And I gotta warn you, it may be less. Okay, because these guys are good at what they do.
We only take on 4 clients a year for that. So,
so
space is limited. We already have one. We have 3 spots open right now.
So folks, go ahead and get on that. All right. Now, if you're like, you know what, I can go ahead and do it. Hey, it's only $29.97 here for you. If you want the real estate investor education, it's only $19.97 for you. Velocity Banking. A lot of you have already said, listen, can I set up a consultation? How can I get my finances in order? It's only $2,997 for a whole year. Okay. We're going to be walking you through it.
No,
right?
It's 24 months.
24 months?
On the Velocity Banking.
Oh my goodness, we extended it, man. We extended it. Hey, we don't mind, right? Because this is for you. $2,997 for 24 months, all right? Now, if you want to get started right now, Antonio said, how do I get started? How do I get started? Nova said, how do I get started? 888, right? 524-9273. We'll talk to you tonight, all right? 888-524-9273. See, I told you that we're not just about business credit. And when I titled this live, How to Retire in 3 to 7 Years, not 20 to 40, this is how to do it. Getting a business is the #1 tax strategy in the world. #1. All right. Now these prices that you see here, it expires. Okay, March 22nd, 2019. That's a Friday. It's this Friday, as a matter of fact, in 2 days. All right, so let's go ahead and show them the prices one more time. Business Credit Builder, $29.97. If you want us to do it, okay, done for you, $15K. Real Estate Investor Education, $19.97. Velocity Banking, only $29.97, and that is for 24 months. That's 2 years. All right, and how to get started? 888-524-9273.
They could get all 3 of them for $8,000.
Did you hear that? And you know that's a deal. You can get all 3 for $8,000. Absolutely. You know, if I were you, I'd actually get all 3. You know why? Because I got all 3. Isn't that awesome? Listen, I got all this. All of it. All right? Well, that's because I've placed myself as a priority. Okay? I love my family. I know, and I've seen, okay, in my own life, how this and helping others has also improved me in the best way. One of the best ways to play retirement is to help someone with theirs, and that's what we're doing. All right, $8,000 for the whole thing, folks. If you want to get started right now, 888-524-9273. You always have good questions, man. That's great.
You want to give them a deal? Is that the best you can do?
Is that the best I can do? Well, I'll tell you what. What do you guys think about this? For tonight, instead of it being $8,000, which that's a deal in itself, and you know it, okay? What about this? What if I cut it in half? Okay, $3,997 for the whole thing. You get the business credit builder, you get the real estate investing education, and you get the velocity banking for only $3,997 until March 22nd, 2019. What do you think? What do you think? Is that okay?
You're crazy.
Yeah?
That's crazy.
Your eyes wide open. Yes, I'm crazy. Crazy enough to help y'all out because, man, we already know how to do it. We want you to do it. You know what I love? I love it when testimonies come in about how someone was at a 598 credit score and now they have a 698 because they've implemented the velocity banking. I love it when little elderly ladies, right, tell me that they're in landscaping and they want to get into real estate investing and they go ahead and purchase it when they only make $1,700 a month on a fixed income because they know they can do it and they know that I'll be there to help them, right? I love it when someone comes in and says, man, CJ, I've already got 13 grand on my first 30 days in business lines of credit. That's what I love. Now people are doing this. People are winning. People are playing to win. Will you? God bless you. You have a good night.